What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sport topic, and today we're going to talk some football. Houston Texans football. But before we get to the conversation at hand, I'm going to send out a little disclaimer, a little commercial. Your boy goal this year is to reach at least 4,000 subscribers. I know that's not a lot, but just bear with me. I'm trying to at least reach 4,000 subscribers. That's what I'm trying to reach. But before I get to 4,000, I got to get to 2 first. And right now, last time I checked, by the time I recorded the video, I was at 1450. So what I need y'all to do, because I need to get to 2,000 before I can get to 4. I need y'all to like, if y'all haven't already, like, share, subscribe. Share it, let your homeboy know, let your homegirl know, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your uncle, your baby mama, your baby daddy, any of them, your next door neighbor, your co-worker, whoever. Anybody who loves sports, who want to end the sports conversation, who want to hear good sports talk, let them know. Bring them on to your boy's channel. Let me help me get to this new goal. So maybe by the end of the month I can get to 2,000, and by maybe the half point of the year I can reach 4,000. Then I can up the goal. If I can get to 4,000 halfway through the year, I can try to up the goal even more. So let your boy get to this achievement and this trademark. I mean this landmark. So help you, boy. Help me. But anyway, now let's talk about what we came here to talk about. We came here to talk about going into the Texans offseason. What are the biggest holes? What are the most important things that the Texans need to fix so they can be playing on this past weekend on Championship Sunday, so they can have the potential to play in Super Bowl Sunday? Things that they need to fix. And these are things that you're not just going to be able to fix via free agency and via the draft. These are things that you're going to do a combination of both. You're going to have to spend both draft capital and via free agencies, sign free agents to fix these holes. And we're actually going to probably disagree. More than likely, we are going to disagree on the conversation at hand, where I expect to tell you guys what my opinion is of the Texans' biggest holes. I'm going to name 3 positions, and we're going to go and decide which ones and why I have them ranked at 1, 2, and 3. And I think for the most part, I think we kind of agree on the certain positions. Y'all might just disagree about how I have them slated, how I have them listed of most important and least important of the 3. And then I think the third one might be one that people might throw for a loop. But we're going to get into the conversation. We're going to talk about it. But like I said, it's things that we're going to fix via draft and free agency, because the free agency pool, to be honest, is not that deep. Because in either it's the top 25 or the top 50, I've seen 3 Texan names, and 2 of them were in the top 15 to 20, and Clowney and Kareem. So this free agent pool is not that deep. So these are things that you're gonna have to fix. You're gonna have to look more towards the draft to fix these holes successfully. But you are gonna have to, I think, especially to add some depth, use free agency as well, because we do have, I think, we're 5th in cap space, and you can actually gain some money. When I mentioned this third option, to me, the third thing that we need to fix, like the number 3 hole on the team, the biggest need on this team, is the running back position. I know a lot of people out there, man, we got Lamar Miller, your Pro Bowler. Like I said, when Lamar Miller got named to the Pro Bowl, which I think makes it 6 now, because Deshaun got named today, I still cut him. Because like I just said, you're 5th in cap space. You save either 6.5. I've heard some people say 6.5, some people say 7. I think it's more closer to the 7 million that you save, but even if it is 6.5 million, I still cut him. I still will cut him, because I think for what Lamar Miller gives you, you can easily find that replacement. Because let's be real, I know at one point the Texans were 6 in the Texans were 3rd in the league in rushing. Did anybody actually buy that? Because I didn't. I never, at one point in time, bought that the Texans were the 3rd best rushing team in the NFL. And for a lot of those games, Deshaun Watson was the leading rusher. Like, for what Lamar Miller provides you, he doesn't do much. I'm sorry. I'm just like, what he provides me, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do enough for me. I know he had the game on Monday night against the Titans. He had a 97-yard rush. You know, he ended off that game with 162 yards, 165, 162 yards, something like that. I'm going to just round up, say that 97-yard run was a 100-yard run. You just round that up, right? If you take away 100 yards, that means he only had 60 yards the rest of the game. So, for 3 quarters, well, basically 4 quarters, outside one run, he only had 60 yards. That's not good. That's not good. It's not. And then it was a game that you could run the football in because the Texans had to lead. Especially after that big run, the Texans had to lead. So the Texans did need to run the football to soak up clock. It wasn't like it was a shootout and they had to pass to keep the game going. So they took him out of the game. And then also, when does he ever affect in the passing game? For somebody who we know he's the faster back out of him and Foreman, he doesn't get a lot of catches at the backfield. I know a lot of people want to blame that on Bill O'Brien. And in Lamar's defense, I think a lot of that is on Bill O'Brien not having those type of plays. But when Deshaun's in trouble and he needs to get bailed out, I don't see him ever looking towards Lamar Miller. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has. I mean, I know Lamar Miller has some reception. He has a reception touchdown. But he doesn't. It doesn't seem like for a running back of that caliber, who that's fast, who should have that in his bank in his tools or weapons as far as part of his tool set and skill set to catch passes out the backfield. He doesn't seem like he's an option. Like, he doesn't. I think that when Deontay Foreman's on the field, that Deshaun looks more to Deontay Foreman to throw the ball to Deontay more than he does Lamar Miller when Lamar Miller's on the field, and Lamar Miller's on the field 75% of the time because Lamar Miller's the number one running back. He's the starting running back of the team. Plus, Foreman missed basically the whole season. He only played one game. So, I don't, for what Lamar Miller gives you, I think that you can find a replacement easily for him in the draft. And I know I've seen some of my drafts taking receivers. I know I've seen one my draft has taken a tight end with the first pick. I've seen other my drafts having to take a receiver. I've seen my drafts that have at least taken a receiver somewhere in the draft. I'm not spending any draft capital on receiver because you spent 2 1s on Hop and Fuller. You spent the 4 on Kiki. You spent 2 3s on both Strong and Braxton Miller, who are no longer on this team. Not to mention, you spent this 4th already to bring DT here. That's too much draft capital that you spent on a receiver. And I know people out there want to say, oh, Will Fuller stays hurt. I think Will Fuller's injuries is more so of an overstatement, more of overblown. His rookie year, he only missed 2 games. His second year, he missed the first 3 games because of the broken collarbone. This year was the only year he really missed time because of the ACL. It is not like he's had a whole bunch of little bitty nagging injuries like Mariota for the Titans, who it's an elbow here, it's a wrist there, it's a hand here, it's a shoulder here, it's a concussion there, it's a hamstring right over here. Like, all those little bitty nagging injuries that add up, it's like, damn, he can't never stay healthy. And it's not like it's the same injury over and over again. Like in Arian Foster's case, Arian Foster had hamstring injuries in college. His rookie year when he was on the practice squad. He had a full season of 10 when he led the league in rushing, but then 11, hamstring. 12, missed a game or 2 because of hamstring. 13, missed hamstring and back because those kind of things are tied together. And his last year as a Texan, he missed the beginning part of the season, the first couple games, due to what? Hamstring. And also missed training camp. Hamstring. It's not like he's having that same issue going on. And if you spend a draft pick on you spend a draft pick on a receiver, either way it go, you have wasted a draft pick. If everybody stays healthy, and if Will Fuller, Hop, and Kiki all stay healthy, your 4th or 5th receiver that you spent a 3rd round pick on does not get to play, you wasted that 3rd round pick because everybody's healthy. And if you do draft a 3rd round pick and then say Will Fuller misses time again, then the pick that you spent on Will Fuller, that 1st round pick, now that comes into question of being a wasted 1st round pick. So either way it go, you will fuck up. So I'm not in the conversation. If I saw offensive lineman, if you spending any draft capital, it has to be a running back because the running game does so much. You talk about protecting Deshaun, you got pass protection. You got that you can slow down the clock. You can speed up the game. You extend drives. That helps out the defense as well. It keeps the defense off the field. It keeps the opposing quarterback off the field. If they have a strong quarterback, it keeps them off the field as long as possible. It keeps the defense up rested. Also, now that safety has to come down. What does that do? That single coverage for Hop even more. Then you got Will Fuller and Hop. They can Will Fuller and Deshaun can easily throw bombs away because now that safety's no longer roaming back there because he has to cheat up because of the threat of the running game. And it all depends on. I have to look more into running backs. I know I've caught my eye on Benny Snell or Shell from for Kentucky. I like him. I've also liked Travion Williams from A&M. I think that kind of be interesting having A&M back and the Texas back because I think if you get Travion, I think that him and him and Deontay are more of a combo back combination. That's more of a dual back situation. Well, I'm not opposed to. I'm not saying that we have to have Arian Foster. If we have a legitimate running game with a dual back system, I'm cool with that. If we had a Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara type situation, I'm cool with that. And that's actually something we need, a weapon running back like that we can throw the ball to. I mean, I would love to have a Gurley or a Zeke or something like that, or a Saquon, but those are top 10 picks. Those are what Zeke was 5 or 4. Saquon was 2. I don't remember what Gurley was, but Gurley did have the injury coming out of Georgia. So I'm pretty sure other than that, I know Gurley would be a top 5 pick if he wasn't top 5 pick. I can't remember. But we are talking about the best of the best running backs. We're talking about the 3 running backs who led the league, like the 3 top rushers in the NFL. So, I mean, of course, I would love to have those type of guys. But if you have a combo back like a Mark Ingram and a Alvin Kamara, I'm cool with that. That's gravy. And you can get good backs in the 3rd round. I'm not saying you have to spend the 1st or 2nd round pick, even though we do have 2 twos. That's something that you can use. So I'm not opposed to that, because a running back helps out your quarterback. We talk about protecting Deshaun. Having a running back, especially if he's a pass pro, he can pass protect. That helps out Deshaun tremendously, because it takes the pressure off of him. He doesn't have to throw 50 times a game. He could throw to 20 or 25 times and be more efficient, because we see him when he's thrown less, he's a more efficient quarterback, because the game is slower and it's easier for him to throw, because now your receivers are wide open, your tight ends are open, because safeties and linebackers have to cheat up the smother their box to stop the ground game. Now, number 2, offensive lineman. Basically, I think that's enough said. We all know offensive lineman. I know a lot of people probably want offensive lineman number 1. And to my opinion, I think it kind of depends on how the board falls when it comes to draft, and also comes to what you do via free agency. But because you might be able to fix number 1, not fix number 1, but solve a little bit of number 1 via free agency, so that way you don't have to do that number. You don't do it with the first pick. You could do that with your second pick, and you can spend your first pick on offensive lineman, or vice versa. You might be able to get a blockbuster and get an offensive lineman, but I don't think the offensive lineman pool via free agency is that deep. So more than likely, offensive linemen will solely get fixed via the draft. Because I don't think people out there really trading for offensive linemen like that. And I don't think people are out there really. I don't think people really trade for offensive linemen like that. And I don't think that people are. I don't think the offensive lineman free agency this year is going to be that deep. So I think more so that you're going to have to do this via the draft. It's to me the number 2 concern, because I think the number 1 concern for this team. I've been saying this all year long. I started off the season by saying this. I started saying this summer before the season started. Told y'all not to get fooled. One of the reasons why I wanted the Colts, and it was more evident to me. I rewatched the Colts game this weekend. For some reason, I'll rewatch the Colts game. Because it's one thing when you watching the game as a fan, watching the game when it's fresh and it's live, and you hoping your team will win, and you watching like that. But when you watching actually already knowing the result, and now you're breaking down the film, you see other little things of the game. And also then watching last night's AFC and NFC Championship games. The number one concern for this team is the cornerback position. And it's not even close, to be honest with you. If you want to be real, it's not even close, because rewatching that Colt game, the reason why the Colts jumped up to 14-0, and eventually 21-0 lead at halftime was because of the secondary. Guys were out of position. Guys were too slow. I mean, you've seen Sharice Wright get beat on the same move 4 out of 5 games. The last 5 games of the season, Sharice Wright got beat on the same move, the same play 4 times. And the only reason why I won 5 times because one of the games he ain't played. He ain't played against the Jacksonville. I know we want to say it was against Jacksonville. It wasn't because it was just Jacksonville. It's because he ain't play against Jacksonville, because Jacksonville did get to the red zone after that bullshit ass muff punt. But who knows? If Sharice Wright was on the field, he more likely got beat by a dumb move right there. He got beat by the Colts. Then got turned around next week, got beat by the Jets. Then turned around next week, got beat by the Eagles. Like I said, he didn't play against the Jazz game. And then the playoff game got beat by the Colts one more time. Guys were always out of position. Kareem got burned. The only person who really was in position at times was Jonathan Joseph, but Jonathan Joseph is just not the same Jonathan Joseph that we got back in 2011. He's not that Pro Bowler, all-pro type of corner that he was back then. So, right here, you need to fix this. This is rewatching that game. I'm like, man, this defense is getting cut like a hot knife through butter. And then last night, watching the Chiefs and the Patriots, seeing how the Patriots, anytime it was third down, we already knew what it was. They just walked, especially in the overtime, just walked all the way and scored that touchdown. They wouldn't even attempt to kick a field goal. They walked right down there and scored that touchdown. And then next year, when you are going to be in the years to come, as long as Deshaun Watson's your quarterback, you're going to be in a division when you got when you play Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton twice a year. You're going to be in the same conference when you facing Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and Sammy Watkins came alive for catching 114 yards last night. And also the Chargers with Phillip Rivers and Keenan Allen, and whoever went, even when Phillip Rivers hangs up, they still got Keenan Allen. They got Mike Williams. They got Benjamin. Who knows what Baker Mayfield? We seen Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield has skills. Same thing with Sam Darnold has skills. All he needs is a receiver, and the receiver that they got, Roby or Robinson, is a generic brand of Will Fuller, which means he can beat you because he beat us on that Saturday night game. So, and also, who knows what the Titans do with? I mean, I know there's still question out about Mariota, but I do think that Corey Davis, for a guy where he's 6'4" and runs like a 4.4 or something like that, so he's big and fast. You need somebody to cover these guys. And also the quarterbacks that they have throwing the ball. Next year, you're going to be seeing Drew Brees, and you're going to see Matt Ryan and Julio, and who, like I say, don't really sleep on Jameis Winston because they got Bruce Arians as the head coach, and Bruce Arians with Big Ben, with Peyton Manning, with Andrew Luck, with Carson Palmer, had all those guys playing at high levels when he was the OCs or head coach. It was in Arizona and Indy. So we seen him do wonders with a quarterback. Jameis Winston has skills. He has an arm. He has receivers and Mike Williams and tight end and O.J. Howard. So it's not like it's nothing out there. So when it comes to the defense, when it comes to these DBs, you need help when it comes to the secondary. And you need help with the corner position. I think that's the biggest hole. That, I think, is one of the reasons why you didn't play past one game. Because the Colts went to a 14-0 lead like that. It was because of the offensive line. Offensive line didn't allow them to score. One, like, 2 fumbles got returned for touchdowns. I mean, like, they sacked Deshaun, and Deshaun fumbled twice, and they ran those fumbles back for touchdowns. It wasn't offensive line. And it wasn't. And to be honest, that first drive, if Hop got hit with a pass interference on that deep pass, so if that wasn't the case, that would have been not a touchdown, but at least that would extend that drive, and who knows how that drive ends. Same thing with Vincent Smith on the second drive, dropping the pass. That should have been a touchdown. Then also, that same drive that Deshaun throws an interception, and rewatching the game, that was a bad decision by Deshaun. Deshaun actually got fooled on that pick. They had good disguise of coverage. He actually had, I think it was Lamar Miller. Yeah, he had Lamar Miller. Had Lamar Miller open in the flat. He had Kiki coming across. He didn't have to try to go. I think he was trying to give it to Ryan Griffin. He didn't have to try to feed it to Ryan Griffin. He didn't. He really didn't. Then he also had Jordan. If I'm not mistaken, on the play, I think it was Jordan Akins running down. And I can see him not trusting Jordan Akins, but Kiki, a legitimate slot receiver. Then also your running back was open. Like Lamar Miller was open. Lamar Miller was actually the person he should have threw the football to. That was actually a bad decision. Not bad throw, just a bad decision by Deshaun and Nance's on that fourth down when he threw that pick. So, but that has nothing to do with the offensive line. Wasn't the offensive line didn't give up pressure? It wasn't like he was pressuring. He had to make he rushed the throw because of the pressure. It wasn't. He was in the clean pocket on that specific play. So I'm not saying the offensive line is good. Of course, like I said, the offensive line needs to be fixed. But I think, in my opinion, the cornerback position is what you need to fix first. And I think if corners are on the board, like the corners I'm looking at Greedy out of LSU. I'm looking at Baker out of Georgia. If those guys are on the board at pick 23, you have to take them. You have to take one of them, unless they make a trade for Patrick Peterson, because that's still on the table. If they make a trade for Patrick Peterson, then draft offensive lineman, and then maybe you can get another corner in the second round to pair up. Because I do, even if you do get Patrick Peterson, like I said, these are things that you need to fix both free agency and draft. Even if you do pick up Patrick Peterson via trade, you still need to draft a corner in the second round, because you're still gonna need a corner opposite Patrick Peterson. Like, you're still gonna need to bring up a corner opposite Patrick Peterson. So, in my opinion, you take care of corner first. Like I say, via draft, via free agency, whatever. I think corner should be one of the main positions that you're adding onto. Now, when it comes to signing and franchise and clowning, that's different. But if you can get Patrick Peterson and trade, I don't think there's not really that many corners that's really gonna be out available that's really good. So when it comes to, if you can trade for Patrick Peterson, cool. If not, when it comes to that draft, if Greedy Williams, Greedy from LSU, if he on the board, you take him. If Greedy off the board but Baker on the field, on the board, you take him. If both of them on there, you choose which one you think is the best. In my opinion, as of right now, from what I've seen, I like Greedy more than Baker. Not that much, but I like Greedy more than Baker. I'm gonna break down some more players when I get more into the draft, because free agency comes before the draft. This is just something that I want to talk about, because I've heard a lot of people talking about holes, and everybody says offensive line and corner. People really not bringing up running back that too much. Like I said, I've heard people talk about bringing up receivers and tight ends. And I don't mind drafting a tight end late on the draft, but you don't take a tight end before running back. You don't take any offensive position outside of offensive lineman over running back. You don't. And you don't take any position on defense over DB. I don't care if Ed Oliver is on the board. You do not take any pick on defense over the cornerback position. I'm serious. You have to fix the corner. I think the Texans fouled up two ways, because it's a situation that you shouldn't have to fix, because you had your solution in Bouye, and we don't want to be a dead horse. We already know how that movie ends. Also, this past year, I think they put too much faith in Kevin Johnson being healthy, and too much faith in Kevin Johnson being a factor. And the guy that you signed, Colvin, doesn't even play. That still does not make any sense to me. The guy that you signed doesn't play. It's not even let alone play. It's not even active in a playoff game versus a quarterback who throws for 39 touchdowns, who is in the MVP conversation, who's going to be comeback player of the year, who's a #1 overall pick, who has played you twice a year and has taught you for 399 and 400 yards with a receiver that's called 200 yards in one game and over 150 yards in another game, and you're not even active. What does that say about you? And what does that say about this decision making on this team? This player evaluation. What does it say about player evaluation? Are they really But the feathers in their hat, when you got Reed, when you got the Jordan twins, when you got Kiki playing the way those are the feathers in their hat. And those are all low guys. Those are not no-brainer #1 guys they were drafted in the first round. And most of the time you're like, that's no-brainer. We gotta take him. Oh, you gotta take him. He a no-brainer right now. Clowney, you gotta take him, no-brainer. These guys were guys outside of Reed who should have been first round pick. These other guys weren't no-brainers, and they were successful, at least for their rookie year, and see if they can grow and go up on it. But right now, it goes in order 3, 2, and 1. Number 3 is running back. Number 2 is offensive lineman, and number 1 is cornerback. You have to address that first. That's the most important hole on this team. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. Comment below if you haven't. Click that bell, get more videos. I holla.